Let's get a look at your money here on Good Morning Quad Cities. On Friday, the United Auto Workers Union announced a targeted strike at 3 manufacturing plants owned by the big 3 automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. The strike is in response after the UAW and big 3 automakers failed to reach a new labor agreement, which expired at midnight last Thursday. Well, now 13,000 UAW members are on strike at plants in Missouri, Ohio, and Michigan. Workers at other big 3 auto plants, they're going to continue to work without a new labor agreement, but the UAW is warning the strike may expand to other plants. And Gravicheski joining us now to talk more about this. Of course, this is impacting a lot of people. How is this going to impact maybe the economy?
Well, the impact to, the economy, the big 3 auto workers, and even to the striking workers will ultimately depend on the economy right now, David, is entering a very, very delicate phase. Even before this strike, the economy was expected to significantly weaken in the October through December fourth quarter, or maybe at the start of 2024. Now, whether that weakness, ended up in a recession or not is still of much debate, depending on who you ask. The odds of a recession are roughly about 50-50 chance we do get into a recession. Now, as for this strike, as you mentioned, it's only been 3 days. It's limited to 13,000 workers at just 3 plants. But if this, if this strike, carries on for a while and extends to the full 150,000 UAW auto workers, that could be a significant blow to the U.S. economy, and in my opinion, would some type of recession, again, either later this year or at the start of 2024.
So if this did continue, though, how would this maybe impact beyond the economy other companies?
Yeah. Well, a great example is John Deere. I mean, the big 3 automakers have a very, expansive footprint. And again, a great example is John Deere here in the Quad Cities. They have a very expansive network of vendors, suppliers, companies that provide materials and services to John Deere. And when there's a strike, those companies, as well as their employees, are also impacted. But also, those companies themselves, they have their own network of vendors and suppliers and companies that they do business with. So companies the size and scope of the big 3 automakers, the impact of a strike can really, reverberate across much of the country.
Do you think the strength of our current labor market is going to play a role in this at all?
Well, 2 years ago, David, was really the height of this labor shortage that we've been in. The number of unfilled job openings across the United States a couple of years ago jumped from about 7 million all the way to an all-time record high of over 12 million.
Wow.
Yep, that's a lot.
Yes.
And what happened is that created this transformational shift in power, in leverage, away from the employer and to the employees, as companies were desperately trying to find qualified worker. And we saw labor utilize that leverage in a number of strikes in 2021 and in 2022. Now, without question, David, the U.S. labor market is still quite strong. That said, it has been steadily weakening. Look at this graph here. The number of new jobs being added each month has been steadily declining. Likewise, the number of job openings across the United States of America, that's also been steadily declining, especially, David, in the manufacturing sector. Over the last year and a half, the number of job openings in the manufacturing sector has been cut in half.
Wow.
So, yes, the UAW still has a fair amount of leverage, but, maybe not to the extent from a couple of years ago.
Got it.